By the end of the story, guys, I want to know if y'all are just as confused as me. Let's just go ahead and get into it. What is good, beautiful people? Of course, you know who I be, Good Doc. Dr. Mike TV back again, once again. Storytime series, ladies and gentlemen, it is officially back. And I believe that the timing, although it's a little off, is right on time, all right? Like they say about Jesus, like they say about God, he may not be on your time, but he's always on time. And I kind of feel like this story is on time. I want to take you guys back to the Good Doc's youth. Not his youth, but his youth. I want to say it was the early part of the 2000, about 2007, 2008. All right. See, Doc had just moved to the Philippines and I'm just now getting accustomed to my time in Davao City. I'm exploring, I'm going around, I'm looking around, I'm seeing and enjoying the sights and the sounds. Doc is everywhere that he needs to be found. But I still had a tendency to use online dating sites. I mean, people would ask me, Doc, how is it that you live in the Philippines and you still utilize online dating sites? What would be the purpose? I mean, boots on the ground, baby, you there, you got it all. Why would you use online dating sites? And there's actually a really easy answer to it. And I can tell you my answer and you can either go with it or not. But this is how it worked for me. I'm a very private person. Okay. Doc is very private. Like, I don't really like to put every aspect of my life out there. And if you notice, in the early part of the 2000s, anybody who was in the Philippines at that time, you would know, not a lot of foreigners there. So you imagine this big black bald dude walking up and trying to talk to females and stuff, and everybody stopping in the mall, watching you and looking at you while you're trying to have a conversation with people and shit. It just became, for myself, it was uncomfortable and I didn't like it. All right. So with the utilization of these online dating sites, I can still chat, I can still text, everything that I need to do. I can create the conversation, I can create the momentum, and I create the ambiance. I can, dictate where we meet, places that I know that aren't really heavily populated, or I can choose the time that I want to meet because, I know about this time, there's going to be 1,000 people there and 1,000 eyes on us or whatever, if I wanted to take them out on a date or whatever, or go hang out or whatever. So because of my ability to dictate how we met, what we were going to do and everything like that, I felt like online dating was just a little bit easier. Because again, even today, it's still a bit uncomfortable for me to do shit like that. Maybe it's my mindset. Maybe it's my psyche. I know a lot of you guys, balls to the wall. Y'all don't give a fuck. All right, back to the story. All right, so Doc still utilized online dating sites. And about this time, I was conversing with a young lady who we will name Nadia. I was conversing with Nadia, and Nadia lived in North Cotabato. Now, if any of y'all know anything about North Cotabato, it's hit and miss, baby, when it comes to safety. All right. Anything outside of Davao City is hit and miss. I can swear by Tagum and, all the areas that lead towards Tagum. But after Tagum, Mangayo and places like that, I can't speak on it. Anything after Toril, going towards the south, your Jensen's, your General Santos City, Digos and places like that, going towards the south, Nubantaan and all of those places. Doc can't really swear about those places because I don't know. So rather than you asking me if it's safe or not, I don't know. I'm just going to tell you right now. So you imagine in the early part of the 2000s when all of this was taking place, Mike won't go nowhere. Right? I wasn't going anywhere and I was not paying any chick to come see me in the city. Because again, I don't trust people at this time. I'm a very untrusting individual. I've been burned before. So I'm not giving out money or paying for bus fares for you to come see me. And I damn sure not going to see you because, again, safety is always an issue. So with this distance between me and Nadia being in North Cotabato and myself being in the beautiful city of Davao, big love to all of my Davaoinas out there. Mwah, love you. Anyways, between the distance, I don't know how far it is apart. I think it's like 3 hours or so. Me and Nadia created a dialogue and a development thing. We were just texting and, conversating and all that stuff. And the conversation got so good and the conversation got so well that Nadia became a very trusting person in me. And rightfully so. Doc is a very trustworthy person. I shouldn't say that about myself because that makes you sound very untrustworthy. But I feel like I'm a very trustworthy person. I kind of keep anything and everything to myself. If you tell me something in confidence, Doc's gonna take it to the grave because A, I don't like other people, and B, nobody has no right to know your business. And if they're gonna know your business, they're gonna know your business from you. It's not gonna come from me. All right, so Nadia became very, very trusting of me to the point where Nadia, she was very open-minded to the idea of sharing very promiscuous photos and videos. And that's where I'm gonna leave it, all right? The videos and photos. Videos and photos. I'll let your mind milk that for a second. Videos and photos. If I asked, she sent. Whatever I asked her to do, she would send. Let your imagination run wild on that one. Okay, so I'm like super fucking excited because I'm like, yo, man, I said, me and her, we gotta link up, man. We gotta link up. This is something that has to happen. Doc is super excited, man. So one day during conversation, I was like, I can't wait to see you. We gonna hang out and stuff like that. She was like, haha, if I come to Davao or whatever, are you going to treat me? And by that means, take care of everything that she needs while she's in the city, food, water, shelter, whatever it may be. Fair, probably to travel to as well. And you're gonna treat me while I'm in Davao. And at this time, it's not that I felt obligated, but I was like, well, damn, if she trusts me enough to share very intimate things with the good Doc, I'm like, fuck, okay, I can do it. Like, fuck it ain't that much money. So I said, yeah, I'll take care of you. But what I said verbatim was, yeah, I'll treat you as long as you treat me too. Okay. So she was like, he, what does that mean? And I was like, I'm trying to be with you. I'm trying to be intimate with you, blah, 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 without going into so many words and details. That was what I would say. Like, I find you attractive. You know that by now. I'm trying to see what we can do. I'm trying to explore, see the types of things that we could be. And she was like, and she was just as blunt as hell when she said this. She's like, oh, you're talking about sex. And I was like, yeah, bitch, what you think I'm talking about, right? I'm like, but why is she saying it like that? That's what I'm thinking. I was like, yeah, that's what I mean in the message. And she was like, well, and it was a long pause when she said this shit. It was a long ass pause. She was like, well, I promised myself that the last person that I would have sex with would be my husband. And dude, I broke out laughing hard as hell, yo. I broke out laughing and she got pissed. She was like, why are you fucking, she was cussing, like, why are you fucking laughing at me? And in the back of my mind, I thought it was a joke. I thought she was just playing, right? But no, she was dead ass serious. And it dawned on me that when it wasn't really a joke and she was serious, I was like, thinking to myself, but I wanted to say this. These are just thoughts. Baby girl, you have been sending me some of the most magical fucking pictures and videos that I've ever seen in my life. And you gonna honestly sit there and tell me that you're not even remotely trying to let a motherfucker smash, right? That's what I'm thinking to myself. I thought that we have broken down the barrier that could have come between me and her and being able to do that. That's what I'm thinking. Between the conversations we had prior, how long we were talking, I figured we broke down all the barriers. I actually thought there was really nothing else for us to do but that. But she was still trying to talk some shit about wanting to wait until marriage until she had sex again. And I'm like, that shit just don't make no sense. Because if it comes out to your husband that you have been sending me some of the most beautifully magical created images that I've ever seen in my whole entire life at that moment, how do you think he's gonna feel if you've been sending all of this sexual promiscuous shit to some dude? Basically, it'll be a stranger or some random dude, if y'all get married. And again, like I said, I believe in keeping things personal. That's real. Like, I'm never gonna dime anybody out. I'm never gonna do anything like that to put them in a bad position. You know, that's just not me. It's not me. But how in the world could you do that, but you're not interested in having sex? That was my whole thought process. And then, you know, some other types of thoughts started trickling into my head too. I'm thinking, okay, so what you're trying to tell me is this. In so many words, young lady, you're going to come to Davao on Michael's dime, because I wasn't the good doc back then. I wasn't Dr. Mike TV. I was just regular Michael. So you're going to come to Davao City on Michael's dime, have Michael buy a hotel room or rent a room or whatever it is, spend time with Michael, but Michael ain't going to get no goodies? I said, if that ain't the most westernized ass backwards shit I've ever heard in my life, I'm thinking, you ain't even trying to give it up, but you expect me to damn near treat you the whole I'm like, and I tried to explain it to her. I'm like, baby, you want me to bring you all the way down here? But the thing is, the way that I posed the question, I'm like, you want me to bring you all the way to Davao for what? Like, what do you want to do? Like, why are you coming to Davao if your interest isn't the same as mine? If our interests are not aligned, that's a sign, and it ain't a good one. Damn sure ain't a positive one. You know, and she was like, well, I just wanted to see you and meet you. I'm like, you can see me in a picture. You can see me on a video call. I mean, fuck you. You can see me right now. I can see in your picture. I say, seeing, okay, you can see me, but I said, what we gonna do after that? Oh, we can hang out and, you know, we can always make out and kiss and shit. I said, oh my God. I said, make out and kiss and shit. I said, what the fuck is this, high school? Then again, I was thinking, you know, maybe the young mindset and stuff like that. We were pretty young at the time. Like I said, about that time frame, I'm about 19, maybe on the cusp of 20. But kissing and making out and shit. I mean, you gonna travel 3 to 4 to 5 hours to fucking make out? Like, I don't think I feel that very much. But over time, I think it just got to the point wherein we just kind of lost touch. You know, I just wasn't as excited to see her anymore, because in the back of my mind, I mean, the possibility of me being able to close was probably still high, because, you know, if you say the right words, right place, right time, we've talked about that. So it wasn't as if that was a complete 100% no, it's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. But it did get to the point where I was like, man, the risk reward and taking the chance, it just wasn't worth it in the end for me. So me and Nadia, we lost touch over time, and me losing my phone a couple of times in the Philippines and numbers not being saved and all of that good stuff brought me to a point where, you know, basically it just had to, we just did a whole reset, you know, and you know, it just was what it was. All right. So what I want to tell you or bring to you in this particular story time session is, there will always be some very micro, not microcosms, but there's going to be some little itty bitty things that Filipinas will do now that we know about, you know, the ideology, the mindset, the behavior of women and women in different cultures and things like that. Now that we're starting to really develop this as men, you're going to start to see these very incremental implants in these women that remind you of women from our own home countries. Like the fact that you wanted me to treat you. And this, dude, we're talking about the early 2000s when this was happening. It was going on back then, and it was damn sure going down back then. You're telling me you're going to come all the way here on my dime and I'm just going to, what, kiss you? What? So that's all I could expect. So it's like food, water, shelter, travel, budget, whatever, to make out. Does that seem like a fair exchange? Does that seem mutually beneficial to you? For me, I could not see the mutual benefit in that entire situation. And thus, the situation came to a very, very subtle yet abrupt end, ladies and gentlemen. And that's my story. And I'm sticking to it. All right? Hope you enjoyed this one, guys. And if you did, you know the rules, man. Y'all get the like, sub, subscribe, notify. I'm here, baby. Doc is back. And with that being said, Good Doc is officially out, man. At least Nako. Alone, which means I's going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Mahakita. Mabuhay. Peace.